doing what I want it to do. No, be that one. I gotta get you going first. For some reason it's not going. Okay, copied that. Why is it not doing it? And we say good morning to you. Welcome. We're live again at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings, North Johnson City, again on this. Well, let's see what we got here. Yes. Yeah, I think I'm on now. There you go. Yeah, we popped up. Good morning to you. We are live again at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Thank you for being with us this Wednesday. See, here's the beauty. You get the behind-the-scenes looks at what goes on here. And so we're here, ready to go, Chick-fil-A, the Crossings, and we've got a full show loaded up again today. We got college football, we've got hockey, we've got the National Football League, we've got some NASCAR news, another drivers let go in NASCAR, so we'll tell you all about that coming up again here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show as we unroll show number 611. 611 is what we've got going on, and we're excited about that, needless to say. And so we're here broadcasting live, and we will, again, tell you that we're here thanks to Grip Energy Drink, the great folks at Grip, and we love being here for Grip, and it's a lot of fun. It's a fantastic drink, and we like it. And so we're here again on behalf of Grip Energy Drink. We'll talk more about that coming up in a moment. We'll take our first break. We'll come right back at our guest. He came in early. I like it when somebody gets here early. Our buddy Jamie Winters from the Blazer Band Bash, the 12th Annual Blazer Band Bash this coming Saturday. We'll be having the privilege of emceeing this event at Daniel Boone High School. So we're going to take our first break, and we'll come right back. We're also going to be joined by Greg Salyer, top of the hour, talking Major League Baseball. Also going to be joined by Alicia Phelps, the Executive Director of the Northeast Tennessee Tourism Association. She's going to join us a little bit later on as well. So it's all good, and we're going to have a good time, and we are glad you're with us. We'll take our first break. We'll come right back, and we'll jump in, and we will talk again, as we said, the Blazer Band Bash at Daniel Boone. Say that fast 3 times. Quick break. I'll be right back. We'll jump in, be joined by our buddy Jamie Winters here as we're live at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings, North Johnson City on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Back on the Tom Douglas Sports Show. No, I'm not Jamie Winters, but we're going to get him on right now because we want him on to talk about the Blazer Band Bash. It's going to be a lot of fun, and there we go. And let's get let's see. Make a little adjustment. There it is. There he is. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, Tom. How are you?
Just fine, sir. Thanks for stopping by again. The Blazer Band Bash, the 12th annual event coming up this coming Saturday at Daniel Boone High School. And this is a lot of fun. I love being a part of this. And driving over, I can't remember how many years I've been the MC, but it's been a lot of fun. And so we're looking forward to a big crowd. Weather's going to be great this Saturday. And, woo, it's going to be nice.
Oh, yes. It's going to be probably rather warm. Usually we, earlier in this season, like in the band season in September, it's pretty easy to get a sunburn. And there might be some sunburns this Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That's
Hopefully
okay.
not. Bring your sunscreen.
We've been out there in years where it's been rainy and cold and winds blowing sideways, so we'll take the warmth and the unusual October temperatures on this coming Saturday. 12th Annual Blazer Band Bash. It is a fundraiser with the Daniel Boone Marching Band, the Trailblazer Marching Band. So jump here. There's lots of great teams. There's, 3 or 4 different classifications. So tell us what's going on Saturday.
Yes, well, we've got a total of 12 bands, including our very own, which we will have 11 competing bands, and then our very own Daniel Boone High School will wrap up the competition with an exhibition concert or field show. And but we do have several classifications based on the size of the band, and our lineup includes bands from Tennessee, Virginia, and North Carolina. And we're very pleased to have each and every one of them, and we've got lots of new folks that have either not been to our competition before or haven't been in quite some time. So and they pretty much go as follows. We have a single or Class A Division One section, and that would include Castlewood and Unaka High School. And we have Class A Division II, which would be Rye Cove High School, Hampton High School, and Cumberland Gap High School. And following that, we would have the Class AA Division I, and that would be Davy Crockett, Unicoi High School, Pisgah High School, and Claiborne County High School. And then we have a following class there of AAA Division I, and we've got just one in that category, and that's Morristown West. And we have AAA Division II, also with one in it, and that's Heritage High School. And a lot of times Heritage will have a competition on the same weekend that we have ours, but I guess they must have decided to have, or maybe the dates changed on theirs or something to where they could come to ours. So we were very happy to have that. And all that would be followed up by an exhibition field show by our very own Daniel Boone High School.
Yep, so here's the teams again. A1, Castlewood Unaka. A2, Ryco, the Hampton Bulldog Marching Band, Cumberland Gap. AA1, Crockett, Unicoi County, Pisgah out of North Carolina, Claiborne High School. And the AAA Morristown West, and then in the AAA1, Morristown West, AAA2 is Heritage, the exhibition with Daniel Boone. They're going to be judged on best music, best marching, what else?
Best general effect, best percussion, best color guard, and best drum major.
Yeah, and so the Daniel Boone exhibition show to follow. There is hello, Catherine Hobbs. Thank you for watching the show, young lady. So yes. And so we are live at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossing of North Johnson City. Talking to Jamie Winters, shown on the screen with the Blazer Band Bash. So best music, best marching, best general effect, best percussion, best color guard, best drum major. This, to use a football or a sports terminology, this is like their Super Bowl. This is a chance for these kids that work very hard. They have, about 10 minutes to get out there and do the presentation and get on off the field?
On average, the bands average about, around 10 minutes, and then they have a period of time where the judges will come down after, while they're performing, they are making notes on a recorder, and then they will be uploaded and sent out to the band directors so they can review with their students. But they actually get some real-time feedback right after they come off the field. The judges come down and talk to them individually about tips of what they can improve on, what they've done very nicely, and it's a very positive experience.
Yep, that's the whole point, is to make them better, get better to make them better. And so it's coming up on Saturday, starts at 2 o'clock. First band gets going at 2. Adults are $5, $3 for students. Programs are $3. Programs are important because inside the program, some magic numbers, right?
Yes, we do have some, we've kind of changed it up a little bit this year, but we do have some basket auctions and raffle tickets, towards that, and the programs would have those available.
Yeah.
We will have, we've got quite a few things. We're trying some new things this year. Of course, the main thing is the competition, and allowing the students to be able to show their marching skills and their music. But we have some other things to complement that, which would be the the basket auction. We're going to have a full concessions with some vendors there that will be doing funnel cakes, frozen lemonade, caramel corn, Italian ices. We're going to have some custom T-shirts to be available to be made there on the spot. And this year we've got a vendor that's going to be doing photos that you can choose, like a kiosk style thing, to where you can do some custom backgrounds. Basically pick your background and be able to pick your pictures right there on the spot.
There you go. It's all coming up on Saturday. Starts at 2 o'clock in the bands one more time. Castlewood, Unaka, Rye Cove, Hampton, Cumberland Gap, Crockett, Unicoi County, Pisgah, North Carolina, Claiborne, Morristown West, Maryville Heritage, and of course the exhibition band's Daniel Boone. All these will bring a bunch of rabid and raucous fans, which is what you want, screaming and hollering and and that's good. These kids work hard. It's going to be hot out there, and so they're going to be in those band uniforms. It's going to be very warm, so they deserve to have a good crowd up in the stands hollering for them. So it's always a lot of fun. I always enjoy doing this. It's a lot of fun for me. It's a blast for these kids too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would encourage everybody to try to come out to that in the listening area, and support the local bands. Support music in general, because it's becoming more and more of a challenge for school systems, especially here locally, to have the proper funding to be able to give, because there's so many cutbacks, and so that's why our individual fundraising like this is so important. And it's really fun, and it's a chance for the kids to really shine and be able to hone their talents and mature as individuals.
There you go. So again, look up in that camera one more time. Tell them what time it starts, and give them the spiel again, would you please?
Well, it starts this Saturday. The first band will go on at 2 o'clock, and it's going to be a day full of hopefully good weather. It looks like it's going to be great, and we would certainly welcome you to be there.
There you go. 2 o'clock this Saturday at Daniel Boone High School at the football field, and be ready to go in Nathan Hale Stadium. And so can't wait to be there myself. The 12th annual Blazer Band Bash this coming Saturday. It all starts at 2 o'clock at Daniel Boone High School. So you hungry?
Oh, yeah.
Go get yourself some.
Always.
I want to ask you on a personal note. If you don't want to answer this, you don't have to. But since you were here last year, you have lost a tremendous amount of weight. How much weight have you lost? You want to tell?
Sure. Yeah, I have no shame. I'm actually kind of proud. It's, I've lost about 100, right at 130 pounds.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Look, 130
Hey,
pounds.
all right, I got a bell ring.
Got a bell. 130 pounds. So that means if Jamie can get self-discipline to do it, anybody can do it. So you just put your mind to it. So how did you get started? Because somebody out there may be motivated to do what you did, to lose 130 pounds in a year.
Well, part of that was, I guess it's multifaceted really, but part of it was I've got a fairly new grandbaby. She's 19 months old now, but at the time, like in July of last year when I started to lose weight, she was just a few months old, and I thought, well, I want to live, to see her grow up, and I weighed 417 pounds at the time, and I'm within my goal range. It's in sight, I should say. So that was it, and then I feel incredibly much better. So yeah, I had lots of encouragement from family and friends.
Awesome. 130 pounds in a year, so it can be done.
But the good Lord above has really blessed me with those people, and also being able to help me have the willpower. So I'd have to give credit first to our Creator.
Well, that's one gets the most credit. So one deserves the credit. We'll get you whatever you want to eat. You want a salad, whatever. You can treat yourself.
Well, that's probably what it'll be.
There you go. Which makes sense. A man who's losing weight continues to lose weight. We'll see you Saturday. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Great job. Quick break. We'll be right back. We've got lots of sports to talk about. We want to get Jamie in. Jamie Winters with a Blazer Band Bash. Again, the 12th annual coming up Saturday starting at 2 o'clock at the football stadium at Daniel Boone High School in Gray, of course, off Interstate 26. Everybody in this area knows where Gray is. If you don't, it's on Interstate 26, and it's Gray, Tennessee, Gray, home of the Daniel Boone Trailblazers and the 12th annual Blazer Band Bash. More sports coming at you next year live at Chick-Fil-A on this Wednesday. Show number 611. Countdown to Christmas if you care. Most don't. We're at 74 days till Christmas. We'll be right back. Brought to you by Grip Energy Drink.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Right. We're back live on the Tom Douglas Sports Show. We're here again at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Baseball got rained out last night, so they're going to play it today. It'll be game 5 of the NL Divisional Series at 4 o'clock today at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Tanner Roark goes for the, he'll tee it up and go, not really tee it up, but he will go for the Washington Nationals, and Jake Arrieta will go for the Cubbies. And that's, again, series of 2-1. Dodgers are in. They're waiting for the winner of that ball game. Cleveland, New York, they play their Game 5 deciding game tonight. CC Sabathia for the Yankees at 14-5 against Corey Kluber, 18-4. That's an 8:08 first pitch tonight, so there is obviously a doubleheader. Cubs, the Nationals, they'll start theirs at 4 o'clock, and then the Yankees and the Indians, winner of that one will move on to take on the awaiting Houston Astros. They eliminated the Boston Red Sox, who fired their manager John Farrell last night. He's gone, looking for a new manager in the Red Sox organization. Again, less than 48 hours after the Red Sox were bounced from the best of 5 in 4 games for the second consecutive year. As is customary, the Red Sox announcing that the search for a replacement will begin immediately. John Farrell, who's 55 years old, won 97 games and the World Series back in 2013. His first year as a Red Sox manager. It was a worst to first maneuver, by the way, which I thought was pretty cool. And so, but you know the old adage, what'd you do for me yesterday? What I did for you today doesn't matter. So Farrell again, worst to first maneuver, so things couldn't have gone much better the following season. He went 71-91, won just 78 games back in 2015. Red Sox rebounded to win 93 games in the American League East in each of the past 2 seasons, but were bounced from the ALDS, so winning just 1 game out of 7 in the 2 years combined. So Farrell's out. Again, they're looking for a new manager, again, as we said, for the Boston Red Sox. So Houston moves on. They'll wait the winner of the Yankees and the Indians tonight. That'll be an 8:08 first pitch. CC Sabathia for the Yankees, who have really surprised a lot of folks. A lot of folks thought it was going to be a sweep, and the Indians have been pushed to the final game, and so a lot of folks feel like they're going to be the team getting back to the World Series from a year ago when they played the Cubs, but that remains to be seen. Yankee fans feel like they've got something to say about that, so they'll play it tonight in Cleveland, 8:08 first pitch. Corey Kluber, the ace for the staff for Cleveland, at 18-4. CC Sabathia for the Yankees at 14-5, a former Indian, as a matter of fact. So should be an interesting game tonight, to say the least. The other side of the equation, of course, Chicago leads that series 2-1 in the best of 5. Cubs win, it's over. Washington wins, they'll force a fifth and deciding game tomorrow night in Washington, and so they will take on the Los Angeles Dodgers, who they swept the Arizona Diamondbacks, and so Houston again taking Boston 3-1 in 4. So those two are waiting, either the Yankees and the Indians in the American League or the Cubs and the Nationals in the National League, to move on for the next round to play for the pennant for the American League and the National League. What else happening in sports? If you're a soccer fan, obviously you're not a happy camper, because they went out with a whimper last night. They being the United States, they're gone. Again, let's run down that story for you, because the men's soccer team will only be spectators in the 2018 World Cup in Russia. They're out. That's because they lost 2-1 at Trinidad on Tuesday night in the final match of the hexagonal group stage. After going down 2-0, U.S. got a goal from Christian Pulisic. I don't know how to pronounce this gentleman's name, but bottom line is it was not enough. The loss plus a winning goal from Panama in the remaining seconds against Costa Rica gave the Panamanians their third and final spot in the group, eliminating the United States men's soccer team, which is an embarrassment in my opinion. Honduras defeated Mexico to earn the 4th spot. So again, to me, as I said, pretty embarrassing. And so the Americans are out of the 2018 World Cup coming up next year in Russia, which it's almost unheard of, really. So let's start our show a little bit into the show, obviously, with our verse of the day. We dedicate our show to the man who hung on the cross. We unashamedly do that. It says, out of the book of Psalms, chapter 32, verses 7-11 says, I am your hiding place. I will protect you from trouble and surround you with songs of deliverance. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you and watch over you. Rejoice in me. That is the verse of the day out of the book of Psalms. Again, Psalms 32. Again, I'll say it. I am your hiding place. I will protect you from trouble and surround you with songs of deliverance. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you and watch over you. Rejoice in me. And that is the verse of the day again from the book of Psalms. And we like that very much. Love promoting the Lord. We do that as often as we can here on this show, because he's worthy and he deserves it. What else happened? Let's take a look at National Football League news. See what's going on there. The Local 100 of the United Laborers Union in Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana filed a labor complaint. All right, get ready. It's going to get good. Filed a labor complaint against Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, stating he violated the National Labor Relations Act by saying he would have players benched if they did not stand for the national anthem. The complaint filed in Texas accuses Jerry Jones of violating the NLRA, which prohibits employers from threatening workers for their concerted activity. Jones said Sunday, if any Cowboys player does anything that disrespects the flag, that he will not play. Jones, the first owner to make that statement to reporters. From the National Labor Relations Board, Wade Rathke says it's a threat, and you can't threaten somebody's job for concerted activity. The point is he is threatening anybody and everybody. We're trying to send Mr. Jones a message that there is a law here. The law is that you have the ability to act with your coworker. You can't just roll over someone's rights when they are a worker. So the United Labor Unions in Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana filing a labor complaint against Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, stating that he violated the National Labor Relations Act by saying he would have players benched if they did not stand for the national anthem. So stay tuned. It's going to get really interesting, and it shouldn't, but it is. All right? What else going on in sports here on this Wednesday? We're live at Chick-Fil-A The Crossings in North Johnson City. On the ice last night of the National Hockey League, let's run them down for you. Your winners, Columbus past the Carolina Hurricanes, the St. Louis Blues skating past the Rangers. Chicago, 3-1 winners of the Canadiens. It was the Predators rallying to beat jumped out to a 3-0 lead, had a hang-on to beat the Flyers in Nashville, 6-5, the final there. Stars skating past the Red Wings, 4-2. The Ottawa Senators skating past the Vancouver Canucks, 3-2. And the Las Vegas Golden Knights out of the gate, brand new franchise, 3-0. They skate past the Coyotes, 5-2. Again, the Columbus Blue Jackets, a 2-1 winner on the ice over the Hurricanes, and the St. Louis Blues, a 3-1 winner over the New York Rangers in the National Hockey League from yesterday and last night. So let's see if the Predators skate tonight. I was trying to see if they do, and they do not. Tonight on the ice, New Jersey at Toronto, Penguins in Washington, the Boston Bruins skating in Colorado, the New York Islanders in Anaheim, and Los Angeles home to the Calgary Flames tonight in the National Hockey League. And again, the Preds have the night off. Take a quick break, come right back, take a look at college football. It's an interesting story coming out of LSU today involving the Mad Hatters, been known as Les Miles. Interesting how things change. We'll tell you all about that. Story about LSU. Also a story about Tennessee quarterbacking situation, obviously. And we've also got a story about a young man from Tennessee that set the record for passing in the state of Tennessee last week. And we've also got a story on a young man who's telling us more about problems the privileges he got while he was a football player at Baylor University. All that coming up next in our college football segment here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, live at Chick-Fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE Master Technicians here. With the ratio, goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop. So it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import and Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitat, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We're live again here at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City on this Wednesday. Again, countdown to Christmas at 74 days if you care, and most don't. Most people don't want to know how many days to Christmas, but just to keep you in the loop. 74 days till Christmas 2017. College football segments, take a look at it. Again, Tennessee offensive coordinator Larry Scott says he's looking for somebody to be the quarterback for the Vols rather than just play the position. So it may be Jarrett Garantano's turn to be the quarterback they're looking for. He will make his first start Saturday against South Carolina. Previous starter Quentin Dormady is contemplating his future now with the program. So Dormady was at practice yesterday. Garantano took snaps from the starting center during the open portion of practice, while Dormady took snaps from backup center Coleman Thomas. Will McBride, a true freshman, is the third-string quarterback. He's not played this season, so Butch Jones and Larry Scott said we're going to try and jumpstart this offense, which is anemic at best. And so they are oh, I thought you were going to give me your opinion. So, anyway, Garantano is going to be your starter Saturday against the South Carolina Gamecocks, a noon kickoff on ESPN. I think it's a career game for Butch Jones. If they don't win Saturday, as I said yesterday, in my humble opinion, the first half of this football game Saturday is going to determine the rest of his season. If they come out with no fire in their belly and just kind of going through the motions like they did against UMass, and again, very much outmatched against a very good Georgia team, if they come out Saturday and lay an egg in the first half, fans are going to be exiting, I would think. Then on top of that, you have, there's a lot of things can go wrong. So it's very, very important, I would think, to Jarrett Garantano and the Tennessee football team to have a good start coming up again on Saturday at Neyland Stadium and a noon kickoff again in Knoxville. What else happening in sports? Interesting story. College football. It's funny how what goes around comes around. Here's a guy who got fired by LSU last year, Les Miles. He's going to be on the sideline Saturday at Death Valley. Former LSU coach Les Miles will be among those honored in the 10-year anniversary celebration of the Tigers' 2007 national title. He'll be joined on the field by members of the 2007 squad. Of course, the logistics of Miles' return to the field presents all kinds of awkward moments. Ed Orgeron, who Miles hired in 2015 as his defensive line coach, is now heading a team Miles coached just last year. There's also the fact that LSU plays number 11 Auburn, whose victory over Miles' team last year was the reason he got fired. There's also the fact that LSU's on the hook for Miles' buyout. This guy, they still pay him roughly $8 million over the next 5 years. So Les Miles sitting at home getting a check, $8 million over the next 5 years. Miles, 2017, became the first two-loss team and the first team to win 2 BCS championships when they beat Ohio State 38-24 in the Superdome. So Les Miles back on the sideline on Saturday when LSU plays Auburn to honor he and the 2007 National Football Championship team, which I find interesting. They fired the guy. The team they fired him against last year is going to be back on the sideline with that team. The coach that he hired is now the head coach they picked to replace him when they fired him. So, yeah, it'll be a little awkward down on the sideline. I bet he gets huge, tremendous response and an applause, given the fact that LSU is struggling right now as a football team. Let's see, LSU right now is 1, 2, 3, 4. They're 4-2. They've lost to Mississippi State and Troy. They beat BYU, Chattanooga, Syracuse, and Florida. They've got Auburn, then Ole Miss, then Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Texas A&M to finish out the season. So interesting, to say the least, about Saturday's developments down at LSU. Former Cleveland Browns and Baylor wide receiver Josh Gordon, more problems for the Baylor football team, said in an extended video interview Tuesday he's been enabled most of his life, given multiple chances for his substance-related issues because of his ability. In other words, he's a jock and we look the other way. While at Baylor, Gordon was suspended during his sophomore season after police found him and a teammate with marijuana in the car. They looked the other way on that one. He was then suspended indefinitely prior to his junior season and left the program in August 2011, reportedly because of a failed drug test. As the focus of a new 13-minute video, Gordon explains that after his first run-in with the police, he was given instructions on how to pass a drug test will be coming up in the future. The coaches sit him down and said, here's what you got to do to pass this drug test. That's nice. That's good stuff there. Whew, man, I'll tell you, Baylor just keeps on keeping on for the Baylor Bears. It's just not going to go away, it doesn't look like. He says, quote, not too long after I got arrested for possession of marijuana at Baylor, one of my coaches came by saying, you're going to get drug tested by the compliance office. This is how it's going to work. This is what they're going to do. If they do call you in, here goes these bottles of detox. He showed them how to drink them, showed them how to take them. This is my first experience with like getting over on the system and the authority not really being serious because it was kind of being guided by someone who was employed by the university. So Josh Gordon continues to shed even more negative light on the Baylor football program. Now his coaches tell him how to pass a drug test. It's not funny, but it is funny. Pitiful. It is pitiful where we are in this country from a moral standpoint. Here's some good news. High school football, Grayson Trammell of Shelbyville put his name in the record books last Friday night. 6 foot, 180-pound quarterback went off for 602 yards passing. Good enough to set the Tennessee State High School football record for passing yards in a single game. This kid had a sore arm the next day. He threw the ball 47 times. He was 29 for 47 for 4 touchdowns. They lost to Summit in Spring Hill, Tennessee, but he broke a 23-year-old record and had a night to remember. Trammell's racked up 2,743 yards passing and 29 touchdowns so far this season. This kid just this year over 2,700 yards passing, 29 touchdowns, but they lose 47-37 in this football game last Friday night to Summit. But this kid's out of Shelbyville Central. Doesn't say whether he's a senior or junior, what year he's at. But I would think some coaches, he's not very big though, only 6 foot, 180-pound quarterback, but obviously has a cannon. So I would think somebody out there is going to be looking at this kid for as a future college player. Grayson Trammell from Shelbyville, 602 yards passing, breaking a 23-year-old Tennessee record for the most passing yards in a single game. We are live here at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings. Is that a Yeti? Pronounce it Yeti? She looked at me, just rolled her eyes. I'm a country boy. Chance to win a Yeti loadout bucket. Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, okay. Visit inside during breakfast or place a breakfast mobile order. We're going to announce it on Halloween. A chance to win a Yeti loadout bucket. Retail value loaded. What is a retail value, Connie, of a Yeti loadout bucket? $50 bucket. A Yeti loadout bucket. That's pretty cool. Y-E-T-T-I. Yeti loadout bucket. Visit inside here at Chick-fil-A The Crossing in North Johnson City during breakfast or place a breakfast mobile order to get into the bucket, no pun intended, to win it or give it away on October the 31st. So cool stuff. I just learned something new. I don't know what a Yeti bucket is, but I do now because they've got one right here. It's kind of a turquoise colored. It's right here in the lobby. You can see it when you walk in here at the Crossings at North Johnson City. More college football. Who's playing where this week in the Southeastern Conference? Let's run it down for you. Alabama. We'll run down the top 25 in a moment. SEC, Alabama, Arkansas in Tuscaloosa. As we told you, Auburn's at LSU. Florida has Texas A&M in the Swamp. Georgia entertaining Missouri. Also in the Southeastern Conference, Mississippi State non-conference game hosting BYU in Starkville, Brigham Young. South Carolina at Tennessee, of course. And Vanderbilt, as we said, has Ole Miss in Oxford on the road at Ole Miss in Oxford, Mississippi. That is your Southeastern Conference schedule. Coming up for this week, Atlantic Coast Conference goes like this. In the Atlantic Division, on top, Clemson 4-0, North Carolina State 3-0. Coastal Division, Miami and Georgia Tech both 2-0 right now on top of the Coastal Division. In the ACC this week, Clemson at Syracuse on Friday night. Number 2 ranked team in the country at Syracuse on Friday. On Saturday, of course, the Hokies off this week. Virginia Tech has an off week. Florida State at Duke. North Carolina State at Pitt. Boston College at Louisville. Georgia Tech, the Ramblin' Wreck, goes into Miami to battle the Hurricanes. Could be a trap game for Mark Richt. Georgia Tech's pretty good at that triple option. And Virginia plays in Chapel Hill against North Carolina. In the Southern Conference, the Bucs on the road at Western Carolina. The standings, the number 1 team right now is Wofford at 3-0. Sanford, Western Carolina, and Furman all tied for second, 2-1. Your games this week, VMI at Furman. The Bucs, by the way, at 1-2 in the conference and 3-3 overall. VMI at Furman, Chattanooga at Mercer, East Tennessee State at Western Carolina, 3:30 kickoff in Colowee, North Carolina. I would think over there would be a beautiful trip to Colowee, down over there in the mountains of Western North Carolina at Whitmire Stadium. And Wofford, the Terriers, will be at the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina. And that's what's coming up there in your conferences involving our regional teams, Tennessee. And, of course, I didn't give you the SEC standings, but we'll give them to you. The Southeastern Conference, the East, Georgia at 3-0, Florida 3-1, Kentucky 2-1, South Carolina 2-2, Tennessee at 0-2 in the SEC. Then comes Vandy and Missouri both 0-3. In the SEC West, Alabama and Auburn at 3-0, Texas A&M at 2-1, LSU at 1-1. Mississippi State, the Bulldogs, at 1-2 in the conference. Arkansas and Ole Miss at 0-2 in the conference again on Saturday. Of course, South Carolina, Tennessee at noon. BYU at Mississippi State. Auburn at LSU. Vanderbilt at Ole Miss. Texas A&M at Florida. Arkansas at Alabama. And Missouri at Georgia. That's your games coming up this week involving teams in the Southeastern Conference. Coming up, we've got Greg Sawyer talking Major League Baseball. Let's run down the top 25, who's playing where this week. Top 25 college football. Let's see who's playing where, and we'll get that for you as it goes. Again, Friday night, second-ranked Clemson will be at Syracuse. Clemson 6-0, Syracuse 3-3. Also Friday night, eighth-ranked Washington State, the Cougars at 6-0, on the road at Cal to battle the Golden Bears at 3-3. On Saturday, 12 o'clock kickoff, sixth-ranked TCU 5-0, the Horned Frogs at Kansas State 3-2. 17th-ranked Michigan 4-1. The Wolverines trying to bounce back from that upset with Michigan State goes to Indiana for their homecoming. It could be a long afternoon for the Hoosiers. 4-1 Michigan, 3-2 Indiana. North Carolina State 5-1. The Wolfpack out of the 8, very strong. 12 o'clock kickoff at Pitt, who's 2-4. 24th ranked Texas Tech at 4-1. The Red Raiders in Morgantown, West Virginia, to battle the Mountaineers at 3-2. 12 o'clock kickoff. Purdue 3-2 at number 7 Wisconsin, who's 5-0 and 7th in the country. Also top 25 football on Saturday. 10th ranked Auburn 5-1 at LSU 4-2. 3:30 kickoff. Georgia Tech at 3-1 at Miami 4-0. 11th ranked Hurricanes. This is going to be a closer game than you think. Watch and see. In fact, that could be a trap game for Miami. Georgia Tech, pretty good football team. We saw that against Tennessee. Won't ever have it on the scoreboard. Oklahoma 4-1. Boomer Sooner at Texas 3-2. The Red River rivalry at the Cotton Bowl. 3:30 kickoff. Texas 3-2. Oklahoma 4-1. Baylor 0-5 at 14th ranked Oklahoma State 4-1. Navy 25th ranked Midshipmen at 5-0. They're at Memphis on Saturday, who is 4-1. Other top 25 college football games. You have Central Florida, the Knights at 4-0, 22nd in the country, hosting East Carolina. Number 1 Alabama, the Crimson Tide, hosting the Arkansas Razorbacks at 2-3. Brett Bielema in trouble in Arkansas, I think. Alabama at 6-0 in Tuscaloosa. 4th ranked Georgia, the Bulldogs 6-0, hosting Missouri 1-4 between the Hedges and Athens at 7:30 on Saturday. 9th ranked Ohio State, the Buckeyes at 5-1 at Nebraska 3-3. Going to be a closer game than folks think. Mark it down. It's going to be a tough game. I'm not so sure Nebraska may not knock them off. This could be a resume game for Mike Riley at Nebraska. 7:30 kickoff on Saturday against Ohio State. Everybody says, no, man, they're strong, Ohio State. We'll see. I think Nebraska will give them all they want in Lincoln on Saturday night with they call themselves the Red Army, the Nebraska fan base. 18th ranked South Florida, the Bulls, hosting Cincinnati at 2-4. 13th ranked Southern Cal 5-1, hosting Utah 4-1. That's a good football game on Saturday evening. The Trojans 5-1, the Utah Utes at 4-1. Also top 25, 21st ranked Michigan State at 4-1 will be at Minnesota 3-2. 19th ranked San Diego State 6-0, hosting Boise State 3-2. Also 5th ranked Washington, the Huskies at 6-0 in the country. They'll be at Arizona State, who's 2-3. And also late Saturday evening, 23rd ranked Stanford, the Cardinal at 4-2, playing host to the Oregon Ducks at 4-2. And that is your top 25 college football games. I'm telling you, I'm going to go ahead and predict. I'm going to go out on the limb. West Virginia is going to knock off 24th ranked Texas Tech at Morgantown. Miami and Georgia Tech is going to be a tussle. Oklahoma, Texas, I don't know about that one. Should be. It has been in the past. I think Nebraska and Ohio State is going to be a really good football game. Closer than I would think. I think Southern Cal and Utah is going to be a good football game. That's going to be at the Coliseum for the Southern Cal Trojans. So that's college football. Hey, we want to give you a chance to win some money, the picking panel. And it's $25. That's what you can win. There it is. And we still don't have it back up there yet. We need to get that up. The picking panel goes as follows: TomDalySports.com/football. And here is the picking panel for this week. Here are the games you can try and win. All you got to do is give us who you think's going to win. First name, last name, town you're from, and email address. Last week's winner, Raymond Tankersley of Kingsport, was our winner. He wins $25. Here we go. Here's the games you're picking this week through midnight tomorrow night. And, of course, the high school games start on Fridays. You got to get them picked through midnight on Thursday. High school games this week, Greenville at Elizabeth. And we're going to talk to Sean Sean Witten coming up later on this week. Dobbins Minute at Hardin Valley. You're picking those games. Boone at Cock County. North at Happy Valley. And a game we didn't know when we picked it, Tennessee High at Crockett, whether they're even going to play that game or not. I've got my opinions on that. Tennessee High at Crockett. North at Happy Valley this week. Boone at Cock County. Dobbins Minute at Hardin Valley. And Greenville and Elizabethton. That's your high school games. Your college games, South Carolina at Tennessee. Texas Tech at West Virginia. Auburn at LSU. Texas A&M at Florida. And Utah at Southern Cal. That's your picking panel. That's your 5 games you're picking for college. All you've got to do is go there, TomTaylorSports.com. Let me show you again. Put your name in the hat. Again, can you beat the winner from last week? Here it is, TomTaylorSports.com/football. Can you beat the man from last week? That would be Raymond Tankersley of Kingsport was our winner. Let's see if you can do that, and good luck. You have until midnight tomorrow night. Put your entries in, and we'll announce the winner next week. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're live here again at Chick-Fil-A The Crossings in North Johnson City, brought to you by Grip Energy Drink. Again, the fantastic flavors, lemon, lime, pineapple, white grape, pink grapefruit, and root beer. Also, we have the sugar-free Ultra Orange, and also we have pink grapefruit at only 5 calories. What sets Grip apart from the other popular energy drinks? They use real sugar and stevia, not high fructose corn syrup like the competitors. Also, there's no taurine in the drink. That's what gives you the shakes and gives you you crash when you drink one. And there is no taurine in our Grip energy drink. It's gluten-free, vegan-friendly, and kosher certified. There you go. All that again available, as we said, at all Food Cities. We'll be at Food City on Volunteer Parkway coming up on Saturday, and we're looking forward to being there for sure, courtesy of Grip Energy Drink. He's here. He's ready. Greg Salyer, Major League Baseball update. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Hey, I'm great. How are you, Tom?
Are we starting early? Well, a little bit. But
Yeah, a little bit early.
We got lots to talk about.
Yeah.
And so we want to crank it up and go right now. I know you're hungry. He always comes hungry, and that's good. So
Oh, yeah.
We'll get him some good Chick-fil-A coming up here in a few minutes. But let's get started, and let's start with the news coming out this morning that the Red Sox have released and sent packing John Farrell. No longer, you kind of saw that one coming, didn't you?
You know, we talked about that early in the season, remember?
Yes, you did.
We thought that, and really, I think in fairness, at that point in time, the Red Sox were in either 3rd or 4th place in the division when we were talking about that. But, you know, there were a lot of rumors about that. I made the comment, I believe, that he was probably one of the managers that was most on the hot seat. And, you know, after they won the division, I thought, well, you know, they're probably going to give him a reprieve. But they wanted to go further in the playoffs than they went. And I think they feel like that perhaps change was necessary. And, you know, I don't know. I struggle with it, you know. I mean, the guy's got a good record with the team. He's shown he can win there. And, you know, you win your division. Yeah, you lose in the first round of the playoffs, but, you know, you lose to the Houston Astros, who are a dynamite team and who I think could probably go on and win the World Series this year.
Not too shabby.
Yeah. You know, so they put up a good fight. I mean, they lost to a great team, though, and, you know, and the manager paid the price for it, I think, this year.
So you look at what John Farrell did. He's 55 years old, won 97 games in the World Series back in 2013. His first year as a Red Sox manager. It was a worst-to-first maneuver, so it couldn't have gone much better for him. Following season, slipped to 71-91, won 78 games in 15. Last year, they won 93 games, won the American League East in each of the last 2 seasons, but was bounced both years from the American League Divisional Series, winning just 1 game out of 7 in the 2 years combined. So that may have got him. So Red Sox Club President Dave Dombrowski will hold a news conference later today to further discuss the move and give an idea about the direction in which the club will head for a new skipper. So Mets are looking for a new one. I've heard Buck Showalter bounced around for the Phillies job. Hey, they may go after, I don't know if they can go inside of the division. I don't know if the owner of the Orioles will let him go to Boston, but this is a primo job. A lot of talent in Boston, and I would think it'll get a lot of very qualified candidates to want to be a manager of the Bo Sox.
Absolutely. I think they'll have a lot of names floating around. I can't wait to hear the names because they're going to be the big ones, I think. And two, you know, John Farrell, he's not going to be without a job very long, I don't think. I have a feeling somebody's going to pick him up and see if he can do his magic somewhere else. You know, he is actually the only manager in Red Sox history who has led the team to division titles 2 years in a row. No other manager in their history has done that, and he did it this year. I mean, this was his second consecutive year, and they decided to let him go. The expectations were just way high in Boston, and they went out and got Chris Sale. They thought they had the pitching. They definitely have a great lineup, and some of the pieces they added when they got to the playoffs just really didn't perform as they needed to.
Another example of how crazy sports is. I gave you that story a few minutes ago before Greg got here about Les Miles. They fired this guy last year. It's a crazy story. They fired him last year at LSU football. He got beat by Auburn at Auburn. They said that's enough. We ran him off. They bring in Ed Orgeron as the new coach. Well, Saturday they're playing Auburn at home. They're bringing Les back to celebrate the 2007 national championship with this guy and all his players, where they canned him, and they're playing Auburn. And Ed Orgeron is the head coach on the sideline. So you talk about an awkward. I mean, it's just crazy. If I'm Ed Orgeron, I'm thinking, man, this is really, really weird. So anyway, It just goes to show what goes around comes around. So here's another story. And this guy, I mean, he's, as Greg said, he's made baseball history. And losing to the Astros is not that. I mean, yeah, you don't want to lose to anybody, but it's not like you're losing to the last place team. These guys, as Greg said, should make a run for the World Championship. But Farrell's gone. He's out there going to explain why coming up this afternoon at the news conference in Boston. So you said some of the big boys will come out. In your humble opinion, who do you think some of the big boys are?
Well, you mentioned Showalter, and I mean, they might go after him. I think they're going to decide that they want to go after some names that they're going to probably go to some teams and say, hey, can we have some freedom to talk to some of your coaches, and maybe even a manager or two. Which a team's very resistant to do that if a manager's under contract, but I have a feeling they'll be doing that. I would not be surprised to see Buck Showalter as one of those guys, but I think there's some guys who maybe are in the minor leagues or just waiting for a chance that they will probably interview as well. A guy that I think will be a major league manager soon is Delano DeShields. I don't know that he'll be in Boston, but I think he has done a phenomenal job in the minor leagues. Moved up pretty much every year. He's at Triple-A now and has been managing there for quite a while. But I think we'll see him in the major leagues pretty soon. And I really can't speculate as to who the Red Sox are going for. But a lot of times when they make a decision like this, they've already got a name or two in their minds, or they've got somebody that they're looking at that they think they can go out and get. And it'd be interesting to see what happens.
There has been discussion, I guarantee, at some point, because the Red Sox faltered in September coming down the stretch, led by Chris Sales. There was talk somewhere going, what if this don't go the way we want, what we're going to do? And so, yeah, there's a plan in place. I will bet you the next 12 lunches at Chick-Fil-A when you come here over the next 12 stops that there's one place they won't go to see if we can talk to their manager would be in Cincinnati to Brian Price. I feel very confident that they will not go to Cincinnati to talk to the Reds. What do you think?
I think you are correct. Yes. I don't know that anybody would go there. Yeah. So
Appalachian League, maybe, I don't know, but anyway.
I doubt it.
There we go. We're talking to everybody, Greg Salyer. So, all right, am I right? Detroit's looking for a manager. Osmus is out. Yeah. The Phillies are talking to him about him coming over for. And I said, I don't see that. The guy, I mean, they unloaded the team in front of him, but they unloaded the team in front of him because they weren't performing. They just did a fire sale. So I don't see Brett Osmus being maybe I'm wrong, being a hot candidate for any managerial job. The Phillies looking for one. Detroit's looking for one. Boston's looking for one. Let's see. Who
Mets.
Is that it? Or the Mets? Terry Collins is gone, so there's 4. So if you're Dave Dombrowski, you're the Red Sox president, you can go get anybody you want. You look at Bud Black at Kansas City. Would you go after him? Who would you go after? Who intrigues you as a possible Red Sox manager?
Okay, so he had a bad year this year, but I think he's going to be a great manager one day. He has taken a position in upper management now, but Pete Buchanan is a guy I would look at. His team did not perform well this year, that's for sure. Phillies were not a good team, but I think the guy is a decent manager. He came in with the Reds, managed half a season. They were terrible in the first part. He actually managed them to a winning record a few years ago as an interim. manager, and I was pretty disappointed that he wasn't given a legitimate shot at the full-time job there in Cincinnati. So he's a guy that I really am kind of high on. Even though he's struggled a couple years, I think part of that has to do with personnel. But he's a guy that I would look at, even though he's already taken a position.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, Alicia Phelps, the executive director of the Northeast Tennessee Tourism Association, coming in. Going to stop in, talk a little sports. She's a big LeBron fan, or no, she likes LeBron, unfortunately, and she likes Kyle Busch, which is okay. And so we're going to talk a little sports, talk a little tourism. She's going to join us coming up at the bottom of the hour. Obviously on the screen, we're talking to Greg Salyer. Major League Baseball update tomorrow will be at Champion Chevrolet, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Tomorrow night, the Champion Chevrolet 5-star football preview show. And then on Friday, we'll be at Food City on the Volunteer Parkway in Bristol, hanging out with the folks up there, our buddy Rick Miller. And what's going on. He's a big Tennessee fan, so he'll have lots to say about them changing quarterbacks. Let's talk a little football for just a second. We'll get back to baseball.
Okay.
Is it going to make any difference in Knoxville between Garantano and Dormady? You got Darrell Taylor suspended. I don't know if you know that story, but this guy gets in a fight, goes up and sucker punches and gets in a fight with the biggest guy on the team. The guy's like Trey Smith's like 6'8", 872 pounds, looks like Goliath. And he goes up and gets in a fight, and then I'm thinking,
what are
if
you
I'm going
thinking?
to fight somebody, I'm going after that person right there. It's about 5'4", where I like my chances of winning. I'm going to hit the biggest guy on the team. Anyway, he's been suspended. Garantano is now the new starting quarterback. Dormady, of course, apparently is pouting. He says he's contemplating his future with the team. So it sounds like to me, here I ask you the question, I answer it, but it sounds like to me the inmates are taking over the asylum in Knoxville.
I don't know that either one of those two guys are the answer at Tennessee, to be honest with you. Dormady's had his chance. Garantano's had a chance, but he hasn't showed us anything when he's been brought in. I mean, and what bothered me about him, this is the thing. When he didn't win the starting job at the beginning of the season, I heard this numerous times in the first couple of games. Where was he? He was not standing there with beside the coaches. He wasn't standing there paying attention to what was going on. He's sitting over on the bench.
Sulking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he was not really doing what a backup quarterback is supposed to do, which is be ready to know the situation of the game, be studying what's happening so that you can learn. I mean, the guy's a redshirt freshman. This is his first real year of playing, and you got to think, well, should he be sitting over there on the bench playing with his phone, or he didn't have his phone, but whatever, or should he be paying attention to the game and learning what he can do when he does have a chance so that he can go out and be the best quarterback he can be? I didn't see that in him, so I personally, next year, I think that McBride guy that they're probably redshirting this year that's a freshman is probably going to be the quarterback for Tennessee.
True freshman is a third-string quarterback. Hasn't played it down this season, and maybe by design. So, anyway, this is old Tom talking, but we're in a snit down in Knoxville, and you look at the schedule. We'll get back to baseball in a minute, but we got two big games going on today. We got to talk about. Tennessee's got South Carolina. Then they go down there, going to take a butt whooping in Tuscaloosa. I'm just going to tell you, it's going to be as bad.
It's going to be ugly.
As bad as Nick Saban wants to make it. I'm just telling you. Tennessee will have no answer for what they're going to do down there because these guys, I mean, they're the deal. I mean, they're better than Georgia, and Georgia put the whooping on them, obviously. Then they come back, then they go to Kentucky, which I still say is going to be a Kentucky win because Kentucky's playing pretty good football. Southern Miss at home, Missouri and Columbia, those two ought to be winnable. LSU, Knoxville, they may implode before they get here for LSU, the way things are going there. And then Vanderbilt coming to town. Vanderbilt's always Vanderbilt. They play Tennessee tough. So
that's the bowl game every year for Vanderbilt.
Somewhere Dan Farmer's cringing right out here. That's good. That's pretty good stuff there. Oh, Dan's going now. Greg, I don't like how you say that, but so here's my 50 cents worth. We didn't get into this, but we're going to talk. I'm going to get his take too. For me, Tennessee season is the first half on Saturday. They stunk it up against UMass, or UMiss as they call it now. UMass, what they call it. Georgia just whipped them like a pup all over the field. They got an off week. There's not been anything really done except the changing quarterbacks. A couple of guys have left the team. The starting quarterback doesn't know if he's going to be on the team. So you got all kinds of internal turmoil. So for my money, if the Vols don't come out Saturday with, the britches on fire, ready to make noise, make a statement for the rest of the season, I think you lose. I think they're done for the year.
Yeah, I think this is a statement game for them. Yep. They have to do something Saturday. This was a team that I thought had a chance to go 9-3 on the season. I figured they would probably be 8-4. Now I'm thinking 6-6, and maybe not even that. So we'll see what happens. But Saturday is a must-win for Tennessee. I mean, there's no two ways about it. They have to show that they can beat South Carolina.
They're 4-2. I'm sorry, they are 3-2.
3-2.
And they've got, I looked the wrong line. They've beaten Georgia Tech. Only place to beat them is on the scoreboard, but they beat them. They beat Indiana State, but okay. Lose. Everybody knows how they lost to Florida. UMass, they struggled to beat them, and then just got absolutely hammered by Georgia. So Alabama, Kentucky, Southern Miss, Missouri, LSU, Vanderbilt. They got 7 games left on a 3-2 season. So we'll see. But anyway, I think it's a big game coming up. But yeah, Tuscaloosa week after next.
I'm going to find something else to do that day.
Marshall's playing down at Middle Tennessee State next Saturday. I believe I'm going to watch that one. Watch the Thundering Herd because he's going to be ugly. Now, we got 2 big baseball games to talk about. Then we're going to get we do this each week. It probably has shored up a little bit the MVPs and the Cy Young Award winners, I think. We'll let him get his take on those. But games today, huge game, obviously. Washington, Tanner Rourke's going to be in Wrigley, take on Jake Arrieta and the Cubbies at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Cubs lead this series 2-1, trying to finish it out. Strasburg was given the opportunity to start Game 4 and balks. He wasn't feeling up to speed. He's under the weather, and I'm thinking, they'd have to roll me out there on crutches. This is big time. This is it, is it not? This is what you play for.
It is, and as I sat down, literally, as I sat down in this chair a few minutes ago, I had a notification on my phone that says now they're saying Strasburg may start this game this afternoon.
Really? They've changed it.
They've changed it. At like 12:05 last night, they did announce Tanner Roark as the starting pitcher, but now they're saying that perhaps Strasburg will start instead. There it is. Strasburg likely to start today.
There you go.
So
does that change things?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it does. This is, of course, it's an elimination game. They've got to win. They have. There's no tomorrow. I mean, you either win or you go home. And I really thought that the Nationals would probably win this series in 4 games, and it's going to take at least 5 if they win it. I'll tell you what it does though for the Nationals if Strasburg pitches today. If they win today, then in Game 5 they'll have Gio Gonzalez starting the game, and they'll have Max Scherzer in the bullpen. That's another must-win. Ooh, yes. I mean, they're going to have to. They've got to win or they go home.
Yeah.
And they'll keep Roark then to start Game 1 of the next series if they can win.
Which starts on Saturday. So if Strasburg is feeling puny today, he can still pitch. And if he pitches today, he probably won't see him until Sunday or Tuesday.
Right.
And the series, if they make it into the NL and to the National League Championship. So I'll say strap it on and go. And I think obviously that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, I'd say give it a shot. This time of year, you got to go out there and do something. They said he went for a run yesterday to see if he was feeling okay, and he wasn't. Said it really wore him out, and he was just afraid his endurance wouldn't be good. But I mean, seriously, if you think about it, if he can give them 3 or 4 good innings today, I think they'll be really satisfied with that, and turn it over to the bullpen and see what happens. But like I said, they've got to win. I mean, it's all hands on deck today for the Nationals.
On the other side of the coin, of course, the Cubs will try and close it out with Arrieta, who is 14-11 on the season, 14-10. Not had a typical Jake Arrieta year, but that's not always been his fault. But you like your chances of this guy on the mound at Wrigley in a 4 o'clock pitch in the daytime. Big Jake's on the hill. You got to like your chance if you're a Cubs fan.
Yeah, absolutely. The Cubs took away the home field advantage, and I like their chances today with Arrieta on the mound. I think they've got the lineup, they've got the pitching, they can do it. So they've not been the team they were last year. Let's face it, they've not been the dominant team. But I would not be surprised if they didn't pull it out today.
Dodgers swept the Diamondbacks 3-0, so they're waiting the winner of this, getting lots and lots of rest. That can be good. It can be not so good. It can take away your momentum because, you are used to playing every day, and so the Dodgers are awaiting the winner of this series. And then I guess the biggest surprise for me is the Yankees are hanging tough. They're playing that fifth and deciding game tonight. CC Sabathia against Kluber in Cleveland. But, here's a team that, they were duking it out with Boston to win the East. Red Sox win it in the last couple of days of the regular season. And then they get into the one-game elimination game, the wild card game against the Twins, and get into the series against Cleveland. And here they are tied at 2, the fifth and deciding game tonight in Cleveland. Kluber against Sabathia. I guess the Yankees, they got just a good chance of winning against Cleveland because they've come out and proved that they're for real.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Kluber was not impressive in his last start at all. So, I guess the question we need to ask is who are we going to see pitching tonight? The Corey Kluber of the regular season or the Corey Kluber that we've seen so far in the playoffs? And for the Indians' sake, it better be the Corey Kluber from the regular season. Sounds like Edwin Encarnacion may be back tonight for the Indians. Terrible ankle injury that looked bad, and evidently it was bad. But he's able to play still day to day, and it sounds like he's going to be back tonight. Brantley has not been able to fill in well, which of course he had a bad ankle injury as well earlier that he's come back from, but he was not able to fill in as well as they were hoping, and this has been a really interesting series because I really think Cleveland is the better team. The question is, will the better team win this series? Let's face it, Aaron Judge has done pretty much nothing. He struck out, I think, 13 times so far in the series, and they're in the playoffs at least, I think. But including the wild card game. But he's not shown us much of anything. And did you see Game 3? Did you see Game 3 of that series? Okay, I saw something that I noticed, and I didn't mention it to anybody. But when Aroldis Chapman was pitching in that game, of course, he was throwing lights out. Every fastball was over 100 miles an hour. Twice, I think I saw 104 come up on the screen as he was pitching. But I have never seen anyone sweat so much in my entire life. He had sweat just dripping off of him, and his cap was completely covered. You could see the entire bill of his cap was just wringing wet.
Really?
And so I'm sitting there thinking, okay, did somebody pour water on him or what? But I'm assuming it was sweat. But I had never seen a player like that in a game sweating quite that much. So that was quite interesting to me.
Sometimes what you ingest, you sweat back out, depending on the concoction which you drink. So don't know anything about the old boy, but of course it's been humid. Obviously, it's been humid here, and so it's unusually humid. And of course the stress and the pressure, and there's lots of reasons why the guy's sweating big time. But I find it interesting. The Yankees are hanging at 2-2, so they'll wait the winner of the Astros wait the winner of this series, and it will start. The American League Championship will start Friday, either in New York, Cleveland, or Houston. So I guess they'll start in Houston. They have the home field advantage, right?
It'll be the big Cleveland or Houston. I think Cleveland had the home field advantage over Houston. I believe maybe by one game. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so it'll either be Cleveland or Houston.
And the National League will start in Dodger Stadium on Saturday. So good stuff. All right, so Marlins, since we were here last week, they make the sale. Jeter and the boys have got the team. Some of the partnerships says let's keep Stanton. Some of them say let's get rid of him. He's not apparently too excited about staying. So, this guy, 50-some home runs, 132 RBIs.
Yeah, 59, I think.
Yeah, 59 taters and 130-some RBIs. And guy's 28 years old. He has I guess his caveat is he has an unbelievable contract still hanging out there. But will he go? And I read the story about the teams looking for him. The usual suspects, Cubs, Dodgers, the Yankees, the Cardinals. There's a lot of guys, or a lot of teams be interested in this guy. Does he stay or does he go?
I think he's going to go. I really do. I think the thing that's really prohibitive there is that $325 million contract.
Say that again, how much?
$325 million. And they're saying now that there's guys that they're thinking are going to be $400 million guys. Nobody's worth that. Come on. No. I mean, give me a break. No. But that's why people like me can only go to one game a year. We can't afford tickets anymore.
Amen, bro.
But that's part of the problem. But yeah, I think he'll go. I think he'll end up in one of the big markets, either in Pinstripes in New York or maybe Los Angeles. I mean, I think he would love to play in Los Angeles, and that might be where he would end up as well. So another question there is, what are they going to do with Don Mattingly? I'm not so sure he'll be there as the manager. Yeah, I have a feeling that they'll make a change there as well.
Hey, he was fairly successful with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Was not with the Marlins. So there's another name to throw out there that could be a Red Sox manager or a Mets manager, the Phillies or Detroit. Maybe more before it's over with, but those four for sure looking for managers. So Mattingly, I mean, he's pretty respectable with the Dodgers. He had himself a pretty good cast of characters to manage, but Marlins obviously did not with outside of Stanton. So
I would think the Mets would really go after Mattingly. I mean, he's a legend in New York, So, and I mean, they've had Casey Stengel as their manager. They've had Yogi Berra as their manager. Guys with Yankee ties, that have come in and managed the Mets as well. I could see Mattingly doing something like that.
I remember when I was a kid growing up, Don Mattingly was the deal.
Oh, yeah.
He and Thurman Munson, I mean, those guys, the Yankees back in the day. Louisiana Lightning, remember him, Ron Guidry?
Oh, Ron Guidry, yeah.
See?
Like a 27-3 season one year or something like that. Yeah.
I remember watching on TV, he threw a curveball. My dad say, watch this. Of course, it was behind the Tony Kubek and Joe Garagiola was calling the game.
Oh, yeah.
That's how long ago that was.
NBC Game of the Week.
There you go. Old Guidry, he'd throw that curveball. It would come at you, and it just looked like somebody, the wind just blew. He would just slice all the blade. I mean, this guy, and a lot of pitchers do that, but I can remember Ron Guidry, Louisiana Lightning. So, yeah, Mattingly is a cult hero in New York. So, and can't do any worse. You're talking about a team that way underachieved in 2017, the New York Mets. So, anyway, a lot of managerial opportunities in Major League Baseball. Before I let you go, right now, MVPs and Cy Youngs in both leagues.
MVP in the American League, I'm still sticking with Jose Altuve. I think he'll win it. I think he's done some phenomenal things to be such a little guy too.
6'6".
Yeah, so I think he's going to win it in the American League. Cy Young, he didn't do well in the playoffs so far, but I think you got to think maybe Corey Kluber may get it. Chris Sale's another name, but he didn't impress at the end of the season. So when the voting was going to take place, so I'm thinking maybe Kluber would be my guy. In the American League. Now, National League, Cy Young is I think
Kershaw.
I don't even think you can debate it. Maybe you could throw out Scherzer, but I think it's got to be Kershaw. Even with his injury and everything this year, I think he was just absolutely dominant. And MVP in the National League, that might be a little bit more complicated. If I'm pushed, I'm probably going to say Stanton. I'm probably going to think that he will get it just because of the phenomenal numbers that he put up. But I'm serious. Don't be surprised. Joey Votto's not in the top three.
He had to squeeze in the Reds. Of course, I was going to tell you that I know one guy, Johnson, is elated with the announcement last week, this after our Wednesday segment, that the Greenville Astros are not going to be the Greenville Reds in the Appalachian League. They're coming to town, take the Astros spot in the Appalachian League. So I thought, I know one, actually two, Carmichael's all jacked up about it.
Yeah.
And Greg Salyer is elated.
Absolutely.
That the Reds are coming to Greenville.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be wonderful. I follow these guys from the time they're drafted all the way up and into the major leagues. When you're playing rookie league ball, you might have one guy a year that you really look at that you say, okay, he's a legitimate prospect, probably going to move on and make it to the majors one day. But I'm so excited about that. That's just going to be great to have my team finally, represented in the Appalachian League again. Used to be in Paintsville years ago.
Paintsville Reds.
Yeah, that's been a long time ago.
Long time ago. So back in the day, I used to do Appalachian League baseball. It was
Princeton. It was Princeton.
Reds.
Princeton.
It was the Pikeville Cubs.
Paintsville was
Paintsville Brewers.
I think they had the Yankees at one time too, didn't they?
Yes,
I think they did.
When I was doing the games, Paintsville Brewers, Pikeville Cubs, and Princeton Reds.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So now they're the Greenville Reds. That's good, and I would be willing to bet season tickets will be purchased at the Salyer House for the Greenville Reds. Yep. Say, Abigail, Hannah, load up. We're heading down to see. You've been to the Astro Park now?
I have not.
Oh.
So yeah, we'll be hitting that up for sure this coming year.
Called a couple of ball games down there back in the day in the high school baseball tournaments. You talking about a primo field? It was built with the intentions of having a AA franchise in Greenville, which has never happened. I'm telling you, it is a primo park. It was. There's Jeremy Livesey from
in the drive-through.
He says it's not me. He's saying it's not me. Okay, it's his twin brother from Movement Mortgage. He's going to be there next week broadcasting, by the way. What was I saying?
It looks like it.
Yeah. It looks like him. There you go. I'm taking his picture. That's good. So anyway, that was lost my train of thought. What was you talking about? Talking about
the Reds.
The Reds and Astros Park, primo facility. Woo. Very, very nice. So you'll be pleased. A lot of folks say it's the best park in the Tri-Cities region. So
good.
It's good. All right. So we've covered lots of ground here. We're going to take a break. Alicia Phelps is going to join us. Church House this Sunday.
Yeah, I changed my mind this morning. Actually, that's what we're doing Sunday morning. We're going to be in 1 Peter chapter 3. And I'm kind of excited about it because I had something sort of that I was looking into and was preparing for. And as I started working on it, I realized this is a series, not a sermon. It was going to take more than one Sunday to get through it. So I'm going to develop that for a little bit later time. But ended up going to 2 Peter chapter 3 for Sunday. And haven't really gotten a lot of it done yet. But we'll see where it goes when I start working on it, but that's the passage. I think it's verses 3 through 9.
Oh boy, he'll get her done, no question. He'll be ready to go. Pick'em panel, don't forget, you can win $25. The defending champion from last week is Raymond Tankersley. All you got to do is go to TomTaylorSports.com/football. First name, last name, and the email address and the town you're from. That's all we need. And so Raymond from Kingsport won it last week, won $25. And here again is here's the teams you're picking this week. All we need, we're not into points, we're not into gambling, we're just doing this for fun. South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas Tech and West Virginia, Auburn at LSU, Texas A&M at Florida, and Utah at Southern Cal. The high school games this week, Greenville at Elizabethton, Dobbinsville at Hardin Valley, Boone at Cobb County, North at Happy Valley, and I guess they're going to play this game, Tennessee High at Crockett. They should play the game. And
hopefully.
So I've got my opinions about that. I may share them before we end the show, but here's all I'm going to say about that. How do we say this? I watched Remember the Titans the other night, just for kicks. Coach Boone came in. The old coach got relieved of his duties. They had a town meeting. The departing coach, the players said, Coach, we're just going to boycott. We're not going to play. We're just going to boycott the game. We're not going to show up. We're in support of you. And he said from the podium, you boys, I got enough on my hands. You boys get out there and play that football game and represent your team and your community. That's what I would say to I don't know, it's a lot of moving parts, but, at the end of the day, the ones that are suffering out of this whole thing are the kids. If they don't play that game, I guess it's still on, but, you've got, if they don't play it, and I've not been told they're not, so as far as I know it's on, so I guess I shouldn't even say that, but, here's the football team in Tennessee how it's practiced to come play this football game. Yeah, they're going to get a W if nobody plays, but they get a forfeit, but they want to play. They practiced all year. I mean, they deserve to be out on that field. Cheerleaders do, the band does, the fans deserve to see a football game, and they deserve to see the best team you can put out there on the field. Whether it's Crockett, Tennessee High, Tennessee, Alabama, whoever's out there on that field, you should have the best guys out there, and you should want to go out there and play. So I think it's a shame that it's got to this point. It's not far from over, I guarantee you. It's not anywhere close to being done. It continues to unravel and escalate almost on an hourly basis, but bottom line for me is get them out there and play a football game. That's what those kids deserve, what the fans deserve, what everybody deserves is put a football team out there and play. I mean, this team's 5-2. Tennessee High, I mean, they're trying to get into the playoffs too. This is a big game for both teams.
It is.
Not just for Crockett, for both teams.
It is. And Crockett beat Tennessee High last year. And, when I was in school, we didn't give them a thought. I mean, at Tennessee High, we didn't give Crockett a thought.
No.
And now you legitimately have to do that.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that they're where they are in their program, but as far as winning goes, but I'll tell you, this is a mess.
Yeah. And, of course, they're on fall break this week. That kind of helps some in the county. But then the interesting part about all this is next week is the Musket Bowl at Boone. Crockett and Boone. So I don't know.
Oh.
So next
It's
Friday
always
night,
the big game.
Oh, it's the game in Washington County. Yeah. So I don't know if it's all going to work out. But for me, anytime, my opinion is, such as it is, the ones that are suffering the most out of this is the kids. So we need to do whatever we got. We need to do whatever we can do as adults to get these kids back on the football field and get them ready for a Friday night football game. I don't know how you resolve that. It's easy for me to sit in Chick-Fil-A and say that, but the kids need to be on the field playing the football game and giving 120% for the program, for the school, for the mamas and daddies, for whoever. That's what I think, and there you go. That's that. 50 cents gets you a cup of coffee. See you next week.
Yes, sir.
Yep, good man right there. We'll take a quick break. She's here. She's ready. She's ready to talk about Kyle Busch, whatever else is on her mind. She is our buddy, Alicia Phelps. She joins us coming up next year. We're live at Chick-Fil-A, The Crossings, North Johnson City. Show number 612 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the parts. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-Fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-Fil-A. Chick-Fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
Back on the Tom Douglas Sports Show. There she is, and here we are. We're live at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. My little buddy, Alicia Phelps, the executive director of the Northeast Tennessee Tourism Association. I don't know why I called you my little buddy. The young Fraulein.
Because you're tall and I'm short.
Oh, there you go. But who does a phenomenal job promoting tourism. And so we're going to talk, tie that into sports, of course, coming up here throughout our little visit. We're here live at Chick-fil-A. Tomorrow going to be at Champion Chevrolet. Then on Friday we'll be at Food City and Volunteer Parkway. Where am I going to be next week? I'm all over the place next week. Let's see. I happen to have the magic planner right here. Next week we're going to be, I don't know where we're going to be Monday. Tuesday going to be a Movement Mortgage, Chick-fil-A, Champion Chevrolet, and I gotta be someplace next. I'm a week ahead of myself. Okay, but Tuesday I'm going to be at Movement Mortgage. We just saw Jeremy come to the drive-thru, brand new location in Boones Creek, and so we'll be there broadcasting live on Tuesday. I got to find a place on Monday. I'll find a spot. It's not hard to do. They like for us to come and bring the show to wherever. Oh, I know where I'm going to be Monday. Hello, I'll be at American Import and Auto Repair on Monday. Forgot to write it down. All right, enough of that. We are here. Kyle Busch, let's talk NASCAR first. What do you think?
Well, I still think it's going to be number 2 for him, Sprint Cup number 2. And it's funny because he started the season slow and he's ended it really strong. So it'll be fun to watch. I've definitely been keeping up.
More people I talk to say they don't like him necessarily, his antics, or when he loses, he gets mad, whatever. But they said, you got to give it to him. The man can drive a race car.
Well, he hit the wall. What I like about him is, he hit the wall last week. But he's all or nothing. Like, if you're not first, you're last, and that's Kyle. But NASCAR has to have somebody that the villain choose to fill, sure. And that's him. That's Rowdy.
Yeah, you got to have a black hat guy. A lot of white hat guys got to have a black hat guy. I talked to him over in August briefly. And I said, we go back. I don't misunderstand. I'm not trying to name drop. We're not bosom buddies, but I'm up there on the track, obviously being the announcer, and I spoke to him for a couple of minutes, and so I said, "Man," I said, "they're on you, aren't they?" He said, "Joe Gibbs pays me to be up front and drive a race car to win." He said, "If I'm not out front, that's what I'm paid to do. I'm mad." He said, "I'm a competitor. I want to win every race. I want to win every lap, and if I don't, I need to park the car and go home." I mean, you can't argue with somebody like that. I mean, that's what he wants, and so I don't think his bedside manner is always the best. He doesn't always lose with grace, but nobody likes to lose, and, I don't know, that's always kind of a goofy way to you lose with grace. "Oh, I'm glad I got beat today." Well, no. Everybody wants to win. You want to be the best tourism lady in the United States. I want to be the best guy on the show. I mean, we all want to be the best, I hope, what we're doing. So yeah. Busch just says, "Hey, look, they pay me to be up front. That's what I want to do. I want to win races." And so far, he's doing it.
He is. Martin Truex, though, he's another one to watch.
Yep. Here's a NASCAR story, and then we'll get right into tourism. Landon Castle relieved of his driving duties. Front Row Racing for 2018. Front Row currently fields 2 full-time entries. Of course, Castle, the 34 Ford, and then also the 38 Ford of teammate David Reagan. Not much success. He's made 253 starts in the Cup Series in an 8-year span. He's never won anything. His best finish has been 4th at Talladega back in 2014. So Landon Castle's been relieved of his duties. He says they told him they're getting ready to do a radical change. Excuse me, said he wasn't given a particular reason for the driver change, only that they were planning on radical changes. Now, let's talk on NASCAR. You got Danica without a ride, Eric Almirola, Michael McDowell, 2 former champions, Matt Kenseth and Kurt Busch, is still not signed for Stewart-Haas Racing. That's been ongoing since the Bristol race weekend. So, was that 6 guys? I'm probably leaving somebody out. Let's see. Danica, or 5 guys in her. Danica, Kurt Busch, Matt Kenseth, Eric Almirola, Michael McDowell. I went through 6. Oh, now this guy, Landon Castle. So, going forward, I mean, you got 2 former champions without a ride right now.
There's moving and shaking going on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing: there's not that many empty seats out there to fill now. So I don't know what they're going to do, and they can't all go in the broadcast booth. Junior's got that sewn up, by the way. He's pretty well. He can name, and he's already said he wants to do TV next year. So there's just so many people to go around, and you can only have so many people in the press box talking about a race. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Mm-hmm. So you still think it's going to be Truex and Busch to duke it out?
I do. I called it at the beginning of the year, but we'll see.
She did call it. One of our shows, she said, I think it was maybe Phil's Dream Pit. You said, I think it's going to be Truex and Kyle Busch. So, and there's Jimmy Johnson, kind of sitting there, not much going on with him. Harvick's, he's former champion. He's nothing going on with him. So right now, the two hottest guys heading off to Talladega are Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. So, talking tourism, got to talk about it for just a second. I took the little ladies to the Apple Festival last Saturday. Had a phenomenal time. That place was packed. A lot of fun. A lot of variations of what you could buy. Lots of Apple things, obviously. All kinds of furniture and jewelry. And I would have to think those folks out there are tickled, over the moon tickled, because it was a huge crowd.
Yeah, so it was their 40th year, so that was a special year for them, but each year it's just grown so much. And then when you mix that with the weather that we had, it was really good last weekend. And some years, it rains, and it's still, we call it shoulder to shoulder moving through, but just with that eclectic mix of activities, it's free, it's family friendly. That's been going on for a really long time, so it attracts folks from all over the southeastern portion of the United States, because it is a long running festival. It's in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, and it's definitely one that we just really cherish. It's a Pinnacle Award winner from our organization, as well as the Southeast Tourism Society Top 20 event.
Had that, and also I didn't get there, but they had the International Storytelling Festival. Give us a report on that.
Yeah, so the numbers were up with that one as well. I've seen, I haven't spoken with anyone as of yet. I'm sure they're still recovering, but I have seen numbers of 11,000 in for that. And again, that one, that's a really target market for it, that particular event. So you really have to be interested in the arts of storytelling, and coming from all over the world. People to watch, but also tellers, and it's really neat to experience other cultures through their stories. So they have worked out with Sirius XM, and so you can watch it live and listen to it. So they've come a long way, and it's just growing. Love it.
Talking to Alicia Phelps, you see on the screen, the executive director of the Northeast Tennessee Tourism Association. We had a motorcycle event in September in Johnson City. How'd that go?
The Geico Hot Bike Rally. I was able to go to that, and it was really fun. Folks from all over the country came. They started in New Jersey, they started in Indianapolis, rode down, and it was in the midst of a hurricane, I think. So, we had groups from Florida come down too, and one of the highlights was that they got to ride the Southern Dozen, which is 12, now 13 rides throughout Northeast Tennessee. A little bit of history behind them, a little bit of, folklore, stuff that's popular with the locals, just driving through those country back roads. That was their highlights. But I particularly enjoyed the stunt show.
Like the stunt show?
I enjoy the burnouts and the tricks down there in downtown Johnson City.
Redneck.
But Kerry Hart was there, and I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he was part of the Bike Build-Off. He's real popular with the X Games, dirt bike racing, also married to Pink, the singer.
Really?
So he was there as well, and it was a huge crowd. The impacts on that, I haven't seen the final numbers, but it's going to be huge.
This weekend, another big tourism event. The weather's going to be perfect. I saw the temperature is going to be in the low to mid 70s. Plenty of sunshine this weekend in Rogersville. Their big event in Hawkins County is Heritage Days.
Yeah. Again, 38th year. That's the beauty of some of our older towns having these events. They've been going on for so long, so they know what they're doing. Expecting a huge crowd. We have a full schedule of that on our website, northeasttennessee.org, if you want to pick when you want to go. Music, car show, food, crafts, just, everything that encompasses Northeast Tennessee and Rogersville. If you want to jump into that Appalachian culture, right there's where you go.
So lots of events that have come, lots of events are coming. Got all kinds of stuff coming up heading into the holidays. We're 74 days away from Christmas, and so there's all kinds of neat things heading into October, November, right on into Speedway and Lights at the Speedway, and all kinds of neat things. You've got some numbers.
Yes.
We're talking to Alicia Phelps, the executive director of the Northeast Tennessee Tourism Association, on a sports show. I love promoting tourism, so you've got some incredible numbers about tourism. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so what do you think is the first largest industry in the state of Tennessee?
First?
Yeah.
I'm going to say tourism.
Well, that's why I love you. It's not first, it's second, but it's a very strong second, of course, but agriculture's number one.
Is it really?
Yeah. So, and there's agritourism, which is great, so we marry the two. But last year, people who are in the industry, they may not realize that you, are you Sullivan County, Washington County resident? So as a Washington County resident, you actually saved money because of what we do in the tourism industry, bringing these events in, having these festivals, people coming here for vacation all year round. So you actually saved money, your household, because of what we did. So the state recently announced these numbers for each of the 95 counties, and I'm really excited to say that 2, Sullivan and Washington, are in the top 10 performers, have been for a really long time. So as a Washington County resident, how much money do you think you save because of what tourism does for the area?
So I'm assuming we save money because they come in town.
Sales tax, lodging tax.
It's heads and beds.
Yep.
So when they come in and spend money, it cuts down on me having to spend money or pay out money for taxes. I'm going to say, the question was how much money do you think I've saved last year?
Yes.
Because of the tourism dollar? I don't know, $100.
So, as a Washington County resident, each household last year saved $394.59 in taxes.
Wow.
Yay! So that's awesome, and you don't think about that. It's a return on investment. So
Sure.
when you see the county governments, you see the state level, you see them investing in our tourism events and in our CVBs and chambers. That's what we're doing. We're giving you a return on investment, and it's priceless. So our number one county, though, however, Sullivan County. We had the battle at Bristol, so that was a big push too for the whole region, as well as moving into Southwest Virginia. Sullivan County residents paid, they would have paid $471 more in their taxes last year if it weren't for what we do.
Wow. That's strong. That's very significant.
Yeah.
So I always say on this show, when you see a lot of out-of-town plates, in-town license plates, be nice to them because they're putting heads in beds and money in our coffers and saving us money.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that makes us attractive. We often do surveys, and the out-of-town folks say, oh my gosh, somebody just gave me directions. Somebody said hi to me. Somebody held the door open for me. You don't find that everywhere, and that's what makes us unique. So not only are we doing that, we're creating jobs. We had a 17% increase overall in how much we pay people in the tourism industry over last year alone. And then we had a 12% increase in how many jobs that we created in the region. So, we're doing really big things. We're growing, and it just it pours into the local economy.
When you say, again, we're talking to Alicia Phelps, the executive director of the Northeast Tennessee Tourism Association. When you say agritourism, by definition, what does that mean?
So think quilt trail, think pick your own farms, think corn mazes, think fishing lodges, think fishing guides, marrying agriculture and tourism. So if it's anything that you do in agriculture that would bring an out-of-town person or even somebody that lives here to participate or be a part of that, that's tourism related.
It's neat stuff. So the quilt trail, folks out there going, what's a quilt trail?
Yeah.
This is really neat. Tell us about that.
So we held the National Quilt Trail Gathering last year in Greenville, and when you see those huge quilts that are painted on these barns out in the country, that's what it is. There's a whole trail throughout Tennessee. Northeast Tennessee is so large they have their own. So you can work with the folks at the Appalachian RC&D. They've developed that. It's a wonderful program, and we encompass that as well. So it's a driver, and we love to see you can tell the folks because they want to go out and get their picture made. Sometimes the folks at the farms will meet with them, but the quilts all have a story behind it, and that's the great thing about tourism is we get to tell our story to people.
Yeah, because the quilt designs she's talking about up on these barns, most of the families have these quilt trail designs. There's a tie back to their family history or something, and there's a map you can go and you can take you. How many different quilt trails? How many different locations?
Oh gosh, there are so many. I've lost count, but if you just look up or Google Northeast Tennessee Quilt Trail, you'll find the one in our area.
Yep. So it's really neat, and you do see a lot of folks going, and you can see them stopping, taking pictures in front of a particular barn or a particular quilt on a barn or side of a building. More times than not, it's a barn. So that's agritourism in its truest definition.
Yep.
All right, so we've got other things coming up. We've got Speedway and Lights, one of the biggest light attractions in the Southeast coming in for the holidays, and there's other things coming up as well. You mentioned before we went on there about a golf tournament coming in December.
So Greenville's hosting a Ladies Classic golf tournament. People from all over the country will come in for that. One of the good things about our area is we are a year-round destination, so we'll see if Miss Tammy with the Greene County Partnership can come on and chat a little bit about that. It's a huge event. Again, brings money to the area. It goes into the community, stays in the community, so it's a great investment. And I will say I've been working on some Christmas activity lists. December 2nd is going to be be the hot day for the season when it comes to events. It seems that all the home tours, all the Santa events, all the parades, they all seem to fall on December 2nd. So go ahead and mark that off on your calendar for wherever you may be or wherever you want to travel to come here and visit.
Had Hank Brown on earlier in the week from WeRunEvents.com. Of course, he sponsors or organizes and runs the Crazy Eights Road Race Fun Fest. Of course, I think he said 15, 16 states. Representative folks came in and stayed all night for a couple of days and ran. He is moving that event, his Halloween event, moving from Kingsport to Jonesboro. That again also puts heads in beds because folks come in from out of town to run. So you really, if you stop and look, there's so many different things going on around here. There's ham radio conventions. There's 5Ks. I mean, it really runs the gamut. But all those events go into the same pot to generate those tourism dollars, right?
Yeah, and one of the neat things about the Haunted Half Marathon moving to Jonesboro, not only is it going to be a change of scenery, and the course is going to be very probably grueling through there, but you get to see some neat things, is that Jonesboro has kind of encompassed that event, and they have made it a full day of activities. So they're going to have their Halloween haunts and happenings that day after. The kids can go trick-or-treating downtown. That's a huge, huge, huge event. And then after that, they're going to be doing some storytelling events, ghost stories in the evening when it gets dark around 8 o'clock. So it'll be a full day, and that's what we love, is when our communities just go all out and go for it, and it impacts everyone.
Tell us again about the website, because that has all the information.
Yeah, so go to northeasttennessee.org, and you can find out about all of our events going on, and city guides. We just went up to Mountain City and visited, so there's some trip tips in there, and riding along the Snake, along the back roads there too, and going into downtown Mountain City. So hit us up there, and on all the social media outlets as well.
She saved me $371.
Well, I didn't, but there's lots of creative people that did.
Give her credit. So you know what? There's all of that. She can eat lunch at the old chicken coop today on me. So want to feed her lunch? That's awesome. NortheastTennessee.org. I'm all about tourism. I love tourism, and it's a major part of our economy. Obviously, the second biggest industry, if you will, in our state.
Yeah.
Behind agriculture is tourism. And understandably so. And up in this neck of the woods in Northeast Tennessee, oodles of things. If you don't do anything else this weekend, because the weather's going to turn, and we know colder weather's coming, but right now the leaves are still on the trees before the rain comes and blows them off or whatever. So get in a car this weekend. The sun's going to be out, going to be pretty, and drive. Whether you go from Johnson City to Irwin on 23, go up to Sam's Gap, or go up around the lake on 321, 421 to Mountain City. Go somewhere and take a drive and enjoy the mountains and this beauty that we have here in Northeast Tennessee. This is, I don't know when the peak is supposed to be with the leaves, but
we predicted actually the beginning of October, so we were a little off on that. But right now is going to be it.
And I noticed the temperature's going to start dropping next week down to the 40s overnight. That's going to really turn the leaves quicker. So make plans to get out there and enjoy this beautiful countryside. Heritage Days this weekend in Rogersville. Anything else going on this weekend that we know about besides
there's several things going, at least 25 things on our calendar, so there's a lot.
NortheastTennessee.org. You got to check it out. And we're going to be involved in the band festival coming up.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that on Saturday, the Blazer Band Bash. She said, well, what's the big deal about that? Okay, well, there's Claiborne County's coming. Well, they're from our neck of the woods. You've got Maryville Heritage. You've got Pisgah, North Carolina coming. You got Rye Cove coming. Castlewood's coming. And they're in our area, but they're not in our immediate Tri-Cities. But they're going to fill up them buses and feed them kids, and it's tourism dollars.
Yep,
Well,
it sure is.
So, anyway, NBA, what do you think?
Well, I've already been watching preseason, and I was interested to hear that. I only watch Miami Heat, but the Brooklyn Nets have been undefeated in preseason so far, and the Celtics.
Really?
Well, I think it was the Celtics, but I know the Nets were. So, interesting.
A lot of changes in the offseason. A lot of moving parts. I only know who's on some of the teams now. Kyrie Irving went to Cleveland. Went to Boston. Dwayne Wade's in Cleveland with a final run LeBron.
The team is back together over there.
What happened to the guy that had the spiked hair down in Miami?
Oh, Birdman. He went to Memphis and Charlotte, and he is currently does not have a team.
He's out.
Well, yes.
Looking for a home.
Yeah.
There you go.
He has an outdoor show on YouTube actually that I watch. It's fishing and hunting. Although he never hunts, he never kills anything, which I'm glad about. But he does a lot of fishing out in Miami.
How do you hunt and fish and not kill
He
something?
doesn't look like the type of person that would do that.
But I mean, how do you have a fishing show and you
Well,
don't catch a fish?
I guess he's
Releases?
just scouting out the animals. I never. Maybe he's just not that great. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. He's not very good, so he don't want to embarrass himself.
I mean, if I were an animal, I would be scared of the whole.
Has he still got the spiked hair?
No, I think he's got the beard. He's got a big beard. I don't know.
Anyway, what's his real name?
Chris Anderson is
Chris
his
Anderson?
name, but the Heat has Josh Richardson, which is from UT. So I like him and Tyler Johnson right now.
Are you going to the Tennessee football game Saturday? Cheering on the Big Orange?
I don't think so. I would like to.
not
Are you
allowed.
inviting me? I don't have any
No,
tickets. Are you
no,
inviting me to
I
go?
don't have any tickets.
So I would be there if I had tickets.
She's not alone, I don't think. I don't think it's going to be interesting to see what kind of crowd they've done this week. So.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a big crowd at Heritage Days in Rogersville. Give you some taters. This lady's awesome. Quick break. We'll come right back, wrap up our show. Alicia Phelps, you see the executive director of the Northeast Tennessee Tourism Association, doing a phenomenal job. And again, that website, northeasttennessee.org.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Back with the Tom Daly Sports Show. Just a couple of more minutes. We want to say congratulations. Last night in soccer, the District 1 AAA tournament at the Stone Castle in Bristol. Congratulations to Greenville. They shut out Elizabeth in 7-0. Congratulations to Sullivan Central Lady Cougars in soccer. They shut out beat Sullivan South 6-1. They both move on. That's in the AA tournament. I'm sorry. In AA, it was Greenville 7, Elizabeth 0. Central beat South 6-1. And the AAA tournament at the Stone Castle, Science Hill blanks Daniel Boone 9-0. Dobbins going to beat Tennessee High 3-2. And so in the AA tournament at Central, you had Greenville and Central winning, as we said. So the AA tournament will be tomorrow night. It'll be Greenville against Sullivan Central in Greenville for the Lady Green Devils. And in the District 1 AAA tournament at the Stone Castle, Science Hill Dobbins winning at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, again for the district championship in the soccer tournament. In volleyball, regional play last night. In the AA tournament, Sullivan South defeat Seymour and Elizabeth defeated Greenville. And then in the championship, it was South defeating Elizabeth, and they'll both play. South will stay at home, and Elizabeth will travel. The Region 1 AA All Tournament team goes. MVP was Maddie Townsend of Sullivan South. Courtney Gibson and Emma Fake, also from South, were on the All Tournament team. Sydney Goodsell from Elizabethton and Cassidy Ray from Elizabethton on the All Tournament team. Cameron McConnell from Seymour and Courtney Dodson from Greenville on the All Tournament team. In the Region 1 AAA, the volleyball, Tennessee High defeated Moorestown East. Volunteer defeated Moorestown West in the championship. Tennessee High's Lady Vikings defeating Volunteer. For the championship, Volunteer travels, and Tennessee High will be at home for the volleyball regional or sectional coming up. That'll be on Saturday. And also, you have cross country coming up on Saturday, the Trailblazer Invitational at Daniel Boone High School. That'll be going on the same time we're there for the 12th annual Blazer Band Bash. Castlewood, Claiborne County, Cumberland Gap, Hampton, Unicoi County, Heritage, Unaca's Band, Crockett's Band, Morristown West, Rye Cove, Pisgah, North Carolina. All those are going to be there. It starts at 2 o'clock, the 12th annual Blazer Band Bash. $5 for adults, $3 for students. Programs are $3. Those programs will have that magic door prize number in it to win a lot of cool door prizes. It'll be a silent auction. All that's going on Saturday, beginning at 2 o'clock. And also, we'll wrap up with an exhibition by the host band from Daniel Boone. So it's the 12th annual Blazer Band Bash coming up again on Saturday. We're very excited to be there and involved in that. Thanks to Jamie Winters from the Blazer Band Bash. Thanks also to Greg Salyer, Major League Baseball Update. And also a big thank you to Alicia Phelps, the Executive Director of the Northeast Tennessee Tourism Association. We are out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours from here at Chick-Fil-A. Don't forget to stop by here with your chance to win a Yeti loadout bucket. Visit inside during breakfast or place a breakfast mobile order, and that's how you get qualified to win it. And they're going to give it away on Halloween, October the 31st, final day of the month, coming up again. So be sure and stop by and win a Yeti loadout bucket. Compliments of Chick-fil-A. Baseball today, again, you've got two big ones coming up. Who? Go Duke. Go Blue Devils. We've got Wednesday, 4 o'clock, Cubs. Strasburg on the mound now for Washington. Jake Arrieta for the Cubs at 4 o'clock. Cubs lead that series 2-1, trying to close it out. The other game coming up tonight at 8 o'clock, it'll be CC Sabathia, the Yankees in Cleveland against Corey Kluber and the Indians. That series tied at 2. And so winner of that one moves on with the Red Sox on the weekend. And the Cubs going to try and close it out at Wrigley tonight. The Nationals going to try and force a fifth and final game tomorrow in Washington. We'll let you know how that goes. Tomorrow we'll be live at Champion Chevrolet 2 times tomorrow. We'll be there for the Tom Taylor Sports Show tomorrow from 11 to 1. Then come right back tomorrow night for the Champion Chevrolet 5-Star Football Preview Show. We'll hear from Joe Avento, the Bucks and Western Carolina preview. Kevin Harmon previewing the South Carolina-Tennessee ball game. We will have Doug Fritz showcasing the area high school football games. We will have Dave Angie showcasing the Region 1 6A football conference tomorrow. And we'll also have Carmichael with the top 5 college football games of the week. All that tomorrow inside the studio, inside the showroom at Champion Chevrolet. So for Alicia Phelps and Jamie Winters and Greg Salyer, this is Tom Taylor again telling you as always, thanks for being with us here on the show. Like us and share us, please. We would appreciate that. And again, we'll rejoin you tomorrow again coming up, as we said, at 11 o'clock from Champion Chevrolet here on the Bristol Motor Mile in Johnson City. Until then, as always, we'll tell you, win or lose, be a good sport. So long from Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Show number 611 here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. So long, everybody.